Welcome to the Thomas Lekhanya podcast. So yeah, this is my first one, and the date right now, the time is 16:54 p.m. 15th of June, the Monday, 2026, and yeah, so just gonna jump straight right into it. And this podcast episode is just about some thoughts and insights as to where I am in my entrepreneurial slash business escapade journey right now since being self-employed, self-working since February. So that's what February, March, April, May, June. So around 4 months now. And yeah, 4 months. I got four clients. Well, technically three now because one of them wants to pause the campaigns, and then I'll pause starting the campaign, and they want to start like end of next month. So technically, I got three right now. And so I've got a couple bullet points just to kind of organize my thoughts about some salient points. And one of them is a thing that I'm working on right now, which is a lever in my life, which is my sleep. And yeah, I've had insomnia for like 3 years, struggles to sleep, get quality sleep. And even if I go to bed, I'll fucking toss and turn and shit like that. But the reason why I really want to fix this right now, and basically, I have to embrace that it will suck sitting there in bed, tossing and turning the whole time for like hours and hours. Um, Even last night when I checked out my sleep, I went to bed at 9:20. I went to bed at 9:30, and I was still up. My watch here tells me that the amount of sleep that I had was 3 hours and 24 minutes, and it says that I only really started sleeping at at 21 past 12. But I think I even had less sleep than that. But yeah, dude, fucking sucks. But anyway, the thing is that I just have to force myself to just endure the pain of not being able to sleep. And yeah, anyway, so that's one of the experiments I'm having right now. Um, because that has a big impact on my consistency of morning habits, which has an effect on my day personally. Now I know the likes of Alex Hormozy say shit like, I mean, he's way ahead of me. What, right? In terms of entrepreneurship, way ahead of me. But yeah, I like his routine basically being like wake up and start working. Personally, there's other habits that personally work for me because if I don't do them, I kind of like fall off track in terms of my life, you know. So I'm gonna keep that. So talk about sleep. That's one of the baselines I want to make sure that I dial in. And I just told myself, hey, look, man, I'm gonna just keep going to the bed at the same time. The exception is on a weekend, on a Friday night or a Saturday night, because that's another thing. I understand that personal development space, different business people say that maybe like sleep at the same time daily. But I think also, yes, I haven't hit the goals that I want financially yet. And these people are way ahead of me. But I'm also, from personal experience, if I don't really go out at night or if I don't really go out and socialize, for me personally, like, yeah, my life quality just depletes. And also, I just kind of feel out of whack if I don't go out and socialize and speak to people. And from personal experience, I feel recharged from going out and socializing. So when I think about the pros and cons, there's more pros than there are cons for me going out at night. So yeah, so I'm willing to go to bed at the same time, maybe 5 days a week or 6 days a week, and then go out one night and sleep late, come back home later. All right, so that's on the sleep side. Another point is just like some insights that I'm having because I've tried businesses before and I failed, and I've worked jobs, try business, fail, work jobs, leave a job or whatever, fail, and I can see some patterns where I was sending out some invoices and I kind of feel this anxiety about it, but I think it comes down to scarcity and not having many clients right now. and worrying that if I send an invoice, maybe they delay pay or don't pay or whatever, and then I'm kind of like fucked in terms of rent or whatever, etc. So yeah, so I think that could be some identity stuff where maybe some barriers of heading to new levels of income. But when it comes down to it, I just need to have more clients. And then if I'm losing, let's say one doesn't pay right now, it shouldn't be a big deal. Let me not say it shouldn't. I can get myself to this position where if I two clients, three clients don't pay in a month, whatever, I'm not worried. My survival impulses aren't really kicking in at that time, at that point. So the solution over there, I just need to get more clients. Boom, that's what's up. And then another one is that I realized, so as soon as I started working for myself from the company that I was working at, it's a story for another day. Yeah, long story short, actually, it's not a long story short. This is a goddamn podcast, man. I realized that I was because I was stressing the fuck out, and yes, yeah, it affects your sleep, it affects everything. And also I was feeling kind of like burnout symptoms and shit. Worry about rent, worry about paying rent and all that jazz, and rent in the following month, rent and food. Even buying stuff and things, fuck card declining at a fucking shop. But anyway, I saw my mind. I was like, "Hey, dude, just fucking get clients and focus on survival mode right now." And I realized that, dude, like in the weekend, I realized that, dude, you're not in survival mode. So mentally, I must also stop thinking as if I'm in survival mode. But at the same time, I could also acknowledge that, okay, cool. I could also acknowledge that I'm not in survival mode, but I can still take action as if I mean I am in survival mode, but also also not. So I mustn't think of like just fucking getting enough clients just to survive and pay rent and food and whatever. I must also think that no, bro, I've got enough. I've covered rent and food right now, so let's kind of like zoom out a little bit and what can we do in our business to go to the next level and get a whole bigger roster of clients. So this next point is just about I need to be aware of what kind of thoughts I'm entertaining in my brain. Like, oh no, survival mode. Because not to get too deep into psychology, another way could be like maybe reinforcing a certain identity. That's like, oh no, maybe it'll be like before when I failed in entrepreneurship and I was always feast and famine. It's always trying to hustle and survive. Fuck that shit. I'm more skilled and I understand my understanding of the world is more updated and my skills, I have way more skills than I had before. So I need to be aware of that. And this is an interesting one because part of how I struggled sleeping last night, I just have all these thoughts, these visions, traveling the world, going to X places, all these exciting ideas. And in the past, I used to like maybe jot down some thoughts so that maybe, and I told myself, okay, maybe it'll help me sleep. But now I'm telling myself that, nah, fuck that. No matter how interesting the idea or concept is, I'm going to force myself to stay the fuck in bed. Feel hungry, stay the fuck in bed. The only exception is if I need to go to the toilet. But besides that, because I don't know, bro, the brain can play tricks on you, dude. I'd feel hungry at night, now I get up, I start eating, now the lights are on, now kind of disrupting my sleeping again. So my main criteria is that I go to bed at a certain time, and I'm only allowed to get out if I'm waking up, or well, if I hear my alarm of when I'm meant to wake up, or I need to go to the toilet. But besides that, stay the fuck in bed. Are you hungry? Stay the fuck in bed. You're thirsty, you need to drink some water, stay the fuck in bed. Uh, yeah, because I don't know, like, well, it's going to take maybe weeks or maybe even months, but I just have to kind of force this because there's too many upsides that I'm losing out on. And also 3 years of fucking insomnia, bro. That's too long, dude. So there's pain in other direction. There's pain of having insomnia. There's pain in trying to not have insomnia, which is like a double negative or some shit. But yeah, you know what I mean. And here's another point where in lots of personal development, it talks about how having detailed fucking plans, have a like specific vision for the future in like 5 years or 10 years. And dude, I've tried over the years to do this shit, dog. And like, I'm gonna test a different way because the mental overhead, even this thing of planning out your day in 15-minute increments, like guys like Brandon Carter, he's a fitness business guy, or made his business in fitness. We have planned out everything in his calendar, like every minute thing. Maybe it's an excuse, maybe I'm being lazy, but like the mental overhead of doing that, maybe it's just a skill set I need to develop. But for the way that my brain works, I know this might be a limiting belief or whatever, but I just find it hard to visually conceive of things in that much detail. Because the way my brain works is that I can study things in detail, but visually, I understand things more in abstract or in terms of concepts. But concrete stuff, like a fucking machine, my brain just I just can't fathom the world that way. So I'm gonna test out rather um, having an approach where it's like, what's the main outcome that I want in this life area, and in general, what's the main outcome that I want in my life? Let's say in the next couple of months, and then what is the main? I mean, I was liaising with AI to kind of like flesh out these thoughts based on my thinking style, and I want as something I want to experiment with. But the AI was talking about how there's a kind of like an accountant kind of like mechanistic form of goal setting, and another one is where you think about the outcome you want and what's the main platform for achieving that outcome, and then in the day be like, okay, what actions can I do today towards that thing? Because yeah, because otherwise, dude, like I find myself like, fuck, I forget details. There's too many fucking details, bro. And it's kind of paradoxical because I enjoy understanding the details of stuff, but in terms of visually seeing the bigger picture, I just can't. And yes, again, it might be a limiting belief, but I'm thinking like day to day, like when I look at the results of my life, I mean, most of the time I get stuff by being enthusiastic about it and going through, I'm learning different areas of life, jump around different projects, different interests. But I get excited about something and dive deep into it. And that's another reason why I don't see myself being like, hey, 5 years, what the fuck? It's like, okay, the general direction I want, my general direction is just more freedom. And of course, money is connected to that freedom. So of course, that's why I'm in business. And also for my personality type, like I don't see myself ever working for someone else again. But anyway, that's kind of like a side note. Main point I'm getting to is that let me test out this thing of what's the general direction I want. And when I think about habits and so forth, I know that okay, the end goal is towards this type of direction in my life. All right. Instead of fucking mechanically planning like every my day in 15-minute increments, like holy shit, dude. But I can experiment with testing it out, like the whole planning your day in detail. But yeah, let's test that out. And yeah, my goal is, and also right now, I realize that financially, in order for me to really break through, I understand that on a technical level, I've got the skills to make. There's people who are not as skilled as me, but making like tons more money. So I understand on a conceptual level that I struggle with belief, and I'm someone who needs to, like, kind of like my background. I wasn't not to dive too deep into my background, but I don't believe things easily because of different, like, whatever. Let me not say because of X, Y, Z, because the mind makes up reasons as to why you are the way you are. Let me just say that I'm biased towards being skeptical, and one of the biggest shortcuts I've seen is that if I just see the shit in real life, I can believe things more. So I understand. So even in making more money, logically, yes, I understand conceptually that it's possible for me. But I can feel these barriers. It's kind of like an invisible shield in terms of believing that I can make way much more money, like 10 times more than I'm doing right now. So yeah, what I'm testing out right now is literally my main focus is the money stuff. The beliefs around it or the activities I can do around it, the habits, the theory about it, the skills around it, the mechanism through which I'll be getting money, like through my skills. My main forte is advertising, paid ads specifically in Google. That's my biggest forte. Even though I'm able to do meta ads, I can do copywriting, all this other jazz. But the main platform I'm choosing is Google Ads because I have the most experience of it there. But yeah, these are just my thoughts right now. Um, I feel this pull towards pursuing different ideas and different goals, but dude, I don't want December to come through and I'm still worrying about survival level fucking money situations. Like, my mental ram being pulled by survival oriented shit. It's like, nah, dude, life's too short for that shit. And I can't be going fucking being at the same level in entrepreneurship. Okay. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. This is Thomas Lekhanya. Our first episode of the podcast. Sounds a little rambly, but fuck it, man. What matters is that it's done. So episode 1, it's done.